A major Vegas casino operator is trading at such a low value that they might just go bankrupt soon. The GDP of America just shoots up 100% week over week because why not? The internet exploded this week as silver is rumored to be on the brink of collapsing two major banks. Do you bank with these banks? You'll find out. We have proof that Vegas is one of the most dangerous cities in America for one of the simplest things that we all do. And AI has gone too far. We got reason for you to question every single thing you'll ever see on the internet. Oh, and if you stick around, I'll show you how you can profit off of all this silver and gold craziness. This is Stephen J. Campbell, where you come for some Vegas and you stay for tips that, quite frankly, might keep you alive. So have you heard about Caesar's Palace? You know, the place where you walk into the lobby and ask if Caesar stayed here, and the person working at Caesar's Palace rolls their eyes because you're not the first person. Instead, you're the 50th person that's asked them that today. Yeah, that's Caesar's. Caesar's is not a great stock. Look at Caesar's. This is terrible. Compare that to the Wynn. One of these companies is doing it right, folks. But Caesar's is up 6% in 2026. It's a miracle. It doesn't matter, though, because it's still at historically low valuation. Now, all these analysts out there are like, they could double what they have going on. That's great. That's like take a pay cut. You lose all your money. You're getting paid $1 an hour. This year, you might get paid $2. Congratulations. Good for you. The problem with Caesars is they carry one of the biggest debt loads in the entire casino industry. So they're like literally praying and hoping that interest rates drop, because for every 1% drop in interest rates, that's actually about $60 million less than they have to pay just to service their debts. The problem for Caesars, though, is that they cater to the average person, and the average person is simply not coming to Vegas anymore. Now, I know you're going to tell me they're coming, Steven. I saw a live stream on a Friday. Fridays don't count. We're talking midweek, regular people that want to come and get a value proposition. They're gone. So here's praying, Caesars, that the GDP news we have that we just got was real. So coming out of the Atlanta Fed, they've gone from 2.7% GDP growth in the fourth quarter of 2025, but they're saying now when the numbers do come out, it'll be 5.4%. The official government stats, 4.7%. Secretary Lutnick says that it's going to be maybe 5% by the end of 2026, and most big outlets are calling the data largely useless. We really don't know until the final numbers come, and then the government loves to revise stuff, kids. How are you feeling? What's your GDP like? Tell you guys what has nearly doubled, though, in the last month. That would be the price of silver. You know, it actually literally has doubled since the beginning of November. And the internet is broken. Yeah, there was this thing that went super viral over on the interwebs the other day, said that two of the biggest banks in America are shorting silver heavily. The claim of the viral post now says that Bank of America and Citibank, they both hold 4.4 billion ounces of silver. Now listen, before you believe these claims, I want to just stop you right there. See, they only take 800 million ounces of silver out of the ground every single year. So that would mean that Bank of America and Citibank combined, from the graphic that was shared online, they're betting more than, 5 years of silver will be shorted? Now, COMEX, the company that runs the silver futures market, they really only have 1 billion max ounces that are out in the open that are being transacted on. So there's no way that there's 4.4 billion ounces of silver that have been shorted. So what this is like finance corn, corn, but with the letter P in front of it. That would mean that these two banks, if everything fell apart and silver did just shoot up and continued to go up, they would owe more money than is available in the entire world banking system. And don't believe everything you read online, because in a minute, I'm going to show you something that will terrify you, especially you men online who are like telling your friends, no, this is not a dude in Nigeria conning and scamming me. It's a real person. Yeah, this will shift the way you look at everything. But before I do that, I do want to talk about our sponsor for a minute, because at the beginning of the video, I told you there's a way for you guys to get into all of these metals craziness, all this money being made on these markets without owning anything. And that would be figuring out the futures markets, because gold futures, silver futures, platinum, I know for a fact that the last few weeks, there have been millions of people every day that are trading those markets, and in some cases, making stupid amounts of money in very short periods of time. Here's a trade I did the other day, made about $1,200 in just around 3 or 4 minutes. And this is the kind of stuff that I actually teach in my course that sponsors my videos, 1K a day. So my students, I asked for some student feedback. I got some great emails. Look at what my students are doing. They're doing it in 10 or 15 minutes a day, closing their computer, walking away, and living a better life. So the question is, are you living a better life, or would that help you to learn a skill just like that? If that's the case, and it's your year to actually shine and learn a skill that hardly anybody knows and impress your friends and family, here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to click the link below in the first pinned comment. I want you to type in DF10. DF10, you're going to get my entire course for $199 before I raise up the price here. And it's only for the first 10 people. If you get lucky, you get a coupon, great. So click the link, put in the code, get it for $199. Email me when you're one of my students. I want to meet you guys, and I will respond back. Of course I will. You're my student now. Because if you don't watch out, you're going to be sending all your money to somebody who you think is a pretty girl. They ain't no pretty girl. It's a manly man. Because we got to talk about these deep fakes. So I'm pretty positive that this terrifies me more than any stock crash out or any financial crisis that we might go through, because this is going to fundamentally break one of the last pillars of things we have in this world. And that's trust that the person you're actually talking to is the real person. Now, we have the ability to fake things in real time, essentially, which means that video chat with that sexy mama that's overseas somewhere that just needs to support her kids, and one day she'll meet up with you. It could be a dude just sitting there in a wife beater shirt with stains all over it, just laughing all the way the bank on you. This is called deep faking, and it's been a problem for a while. It kind of exploded in popularity almost a decade ago, but back then it was the thing of Hollywood movies. And now it's accessible to practically everybody. There's all these different websites. I'm not going to put them up here, and they're all competing with one another to trick people into thinking that they're somebody that they're not. Somebody took the entire Stranger Things cast and made themselves into the Stranger Things cast live on camera. If that's not bad enough, here's a dude looking like a pretty white girl wearing cat ears. Court testimony with video, compromised. Job interviews, no way. Banking verifications, forget about it. So this is the collapse of trust online. And here's one more thing I will tell you, this is very important. I would suggest making code words with your family. My mother did this when we were younger. We would go to an event or be in an element with a bunch of people. And if somebody approached us and said, your mom said to pick you up and take you home, that person, even if it was a family member, would have to know the secret code word we had. That way, if somebody's faking being your relative in distress, they'll know the code word. And if they don't, then you don't get scammed. Because it's dangerous out here, people. What's more dangerous are the streets in Vegas. This is what I was telling you about keeping yourselves alive, especially in this town. These stats are just scary. Next, we got to talk about how to stay alive in Vegas, because we have a major pandemic of epic proportions. The latest and saddest story comes out of an accident and an incident that happened here not too long ago. Now, I'm going to use the word unalived, and it's not because I'm some kind of wuss. It's because YouTube knows what I'm saying, and they would prefer me not to say words that are words because they treat you like children. So we have to talk about the case of Elijah Brown, 24 years old. He was leaving a Dottie's casino. Now, Dottie's, if you've never been to Nevada, we have all of these local establishments that have 24-hour gaming and libations on tap. And this was a Dottie's casino where it wasn't too far away from a homeless encampment. And a man named Elijah Brown drove 1,000 feet off the road and slammed into the encampment, unaliving a man named Nicholas Sunday, who was 61 years of age, just trying to make his way. To make it worse, Brown's blood alcohol content was 0.144. That's almost double the limit. And it was taken 4 hours after he was booked on the incident, meaning that at the time, who knows how high it possibly was. They found other things in his car that would impair his judgment, like the MJ and also some pills. Now, if you know anybody who's done a DUI course out here, and it's way more people than you think, they'll tell you that 60% of the people on the roadways are impaired on a Friday or a Saturday. At least that's what the court says. We don't know the official stats on that, but what we do know is that 34% of all of the unaliving crashes that happened involved alcohol and DUIs. We also know that up to 20% of all the injury incidents involving vehicles involved Again, DUIs. We know that it's incredibly dangerous to drive between midnight and 3 a.m. because that's the peak. 31% of all of the unaliving crashes happen at that time. And we know that Nevada is sky high, one of the top states in these types of incidents. And what makes this even more insane is that Dotties can't be sued. In a lot of places, they have laws that are in place that says that the establishment has a responsibility to make sure that their patrons, when they are just stumbling out of the bar and can't even see straight, they're not going to get in their car and drive away. But there's no such law here because we are very friendly to anything that involves alcohol and gambling. I think I'm going to do a whole video on this. So if you're interested in that, subscribe. I put a reminder in my notes app because I want to explore this a little bit. This is like the business model that nobody wants to talk about. It's basically the business of things that lead to unaliving, and I think it merits further inspection and further talk. But that's the news update for today. If you loved this video and you think it's really rad, I want you guys, if you're 1% smarter, to click that subscribe button and leave us a comment and throw us a like. Those things cost you $0 and they really help the channel grow. Be sure to click the link below, get into our futures course so you could potentially make some money on those silver, gold, and platinums that you can't afford to own. Maybe one day you can. Once again, I'm Stephen J. Campbell, where you come for some Vegas and you stay for the broader overall picture. And just remember one thing, as we always say, as my mentor teaches me, no matter what happens in life, just keep swimming.